nearly 2.5 years since Russia invaded Ukraine, and support has come from the U.S. and other Western countries, but also grassroots groups. Former State DEC Commissioner Basil Seggos has been doing his part, and he's been kind enough to join us now fresh off his last effort. Thanks for checking in. Really good to see you.
Yeah, thanks. Great to see you.
I know you took personal time while you were working at the DEC to make, some humanitarian trips to Ukraine. You've stepped down. You've retired from that position after many, many years, about 2 months ago. You haven't stopped, though. What was your last trip over to Europe about? What did you do, and how were you helping with Ukraine?
Well, listen, I was honored to be part of a group of Americans, French, Germans, who came together at the 80th anniversary of D-Day in Normandy. Listen, a clear connection between what happened 80 years ago when so many soldiers gave their lives on those beaches, and what's happening today in Ukraine. So, we used the moment to generate some interest in the cause of Ukraine. We're able to pull together 50 ambulances that then we drove in a convoy all the way into the country, into Ukraine, from the beaches of Normandy.
Yeah, I mean, what was that experience like? I've been to Normandy. I haven't been on June 6th specifically. You were there for the 80th. I mean, must be awe-inspiring, knowing also too what you're going to be doing in those parallels you just talked about between D-Day and the efforts in Ukraine.
Yeah, Jeff, it is so impactful to be there at any time, much less on the 80th anniversary when there's big ceremonies and flyovers, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the ceremony, the president ushers 250 living veterans of D-Day onto the stage. And this is really, you think about it, 80 years, this is one of the last times we'll see those veterans ever on a stage like this on a significant anniversary. So it really hit home. I mean, there were probably 10, 15,000 people in the audience, and there wasn't a dry eye. And these are, hardened soldiers and sailors that were watching this incredible ceremony. It was really impossible to imagine how it was.
And then you pick up and you drive those 50 ambulances, and that's been a big part of what you've been doing on your visits to Ukraine. Why? How impactful is that kind of equipment? These vehicles equipped like that for them?
Well, it's life and death. I mean, we've done the math on this. Every single ambulance will rescue 250 people over the course of its 30-day existence before it's targeted or it falls apart in the field. So you do the math on that. I mean, we've done somewhere upwards of 240 ambulances by this point with the 50 that we just delivered. So those are lives saved. I mean, those are hundreds of people who would otherwise, thousands of people at this point who would otherwise have lost their lives in battle. And we know that by taking these ambulances, some of them heavily used and not in great shape, to get into the front lines, they'll be used to save lives and hopefully turn the tide of the war.
You kind of answered my next question, why do you keep doing this? That part is obvious of why, but it still takes a tremendous amount of time and effort and willingness for you and people like you to still be doing these kind of really grassroots humanitarian efforts.
Listen, it does, but we're doing it for the right reasons, right? It's as important today as it was 2.5 years ago when the war kicked off. This is one of the most important inflection points in history, and that's not to be grandiose. Russia is on the doorstep of Europe. They've clearly marched as far as they could through Ukraine. If that country falls, we've lost a key democratic ally and everything that we fought for. Going back 80 years to Normandy and D-Day and ultimately the victory in Europe, all of that gets called into question, all those international institutions we've built. So it is so important for Americans to remain engaged in this. And it's, as little as clicking and watching something on TV, it can be as big as delivering supplies as well. So Americans need to be engaged in this, and we need to follow what the president's said on this, which is to see this as an existential threat that we all have to deal with in our lifetimes.
Well, you're certainly doing your part, and we really thank you and appreciate what you've done. Basil Seggos, thanks so much. As always, even though you're not State DEC Commissioner anymore, you're welcome here anytime. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Jeff. You're the best. Appreciate it.